So I want to have a good old-fashioned unscripted talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. I didn't really get a chance to fully break down my thoughts during the initial reaction to this thing because it was honestly crazy and stressful, and then I obviously had to edit together my reaction and upload all that stuff, and I didn't sleep the night prior either. I guess I was nervous about it all. I don't really know. But here we are today. I'm just gonna get my thoughts off my chest. Mario Kart World looks amazing, right? It looks absolutely amazing. I was genuinely shocked how good it was. I knew it was going to be good, right? It's Mario Kart. It's first-party Nintendo. They're not going to be messing around here. It's going to be an amazing video game, but the trailer was just so well done. The way the trailer just escalates, you know? Yeah, it's Mario Kart. Here's the Mario Kart you know and love. And then all of a sudden, we're grinding now. We're wall riding now. You can play as a Moo. The game's open world. There's a photo mode. You know, it just keeps escalating, and the trailer just keeps getting better and better. And then the trailer ends, and then there's another little gameplay segment after that where there's kind of a breakdown of the game. And it just expresses itself so well to the viewer on what makes Mario Kart World different and special. And I honestly think as a launch title, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be absolutely insane. The numbers this game is going to do by the end of the Switch 2's life. We're talking, I didn't think it was physically possible to sell more than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or just Mario Kart 8 in general, but it might be. It might be with this game, barring the $80 price tag. We will get into that as well. Yeah, I think that, and right now Treehouse is going on at the time of recording this. There's more details about this game that I don't even know. But there's just something so special about being able to just drive off the track. Seeing that in the Direct, just seeing, and now we can free roam and we can just drive off, see those trees over there? We can go over there. And yeah, that's kind of like a dream come true. I think free roaming in Mario Kart is something we've always kind of wanted to do as players. You know, driving around Peach's castle. Man, I wish I could just drive over there. Or I wish that, in Wario's gold mine, I wish I could explore these caves a little bit more. Rainbow Road, I wish I could ride around the planet. Maybe not Rainbow Road. But just generally speaking, free roaming in Mario Kart is something that I've never really spoken about how much I wanted it. But as soon as I see it, I'm yes, I did want this. This is something that I wanted. I'm a big exploration guy just in video games in general. Exploration to me is one of the most important things in video games. And Mario Kart doesn't have that really at all. It's a racing game, right? And now it does. And it looks fun. I don't know what we're really doing in the free roaming areas, though. There's probably going to be some secrets to find and stuff like that. And again, Treehouse is going. They might have already revealed what we're doing in the free roaming stuff. But yeah, if there's incentive to explore and reasons to hang out with my friends in the open world. They never use the word open world either. I'm not really sure if that's how it's structured. I don't really know if legit are all of these tracks connected. Or is everything connected? That I don't really know. But it looks like it is. It straight up looks like it is. Seeing the jet ski going under the bridge, and you see stuff that you can grind on. You obviously see the bridge that you could drive on in the city area. There's tall buildings with ramps on top of them. You're going to be going up there and driving up there too. But that's a part of a different route of this track or something. I have no idea how that stuff is structured. I just thought the trailer was fantastic. Just truly, truly fantastic. An amazing showcase during this Direct. A great way to start the Direct. And again, just a fantastic launch title. The other game that I want to talk about here is weirdly Pokemon ZA and just kind of the whole upgrade thing. I didn't think that seeing Tears of the Kingdom in 60 FPS would get an audible reaction out of me. Because it was shocking how much better the game looks. It looks insanely good. The colors were just popping. It doesn't feel washed out anymore. Everything's clear. And I can move my camera around without the screen jittering, man. They show Korok Forest, and it's not Lost Woods or whatever, and it's not breaking the game. It's not breaking the game, just exploring what are the main areas of the game. And I don't know, just seeing Nintendo games uncompromised is such a new thing to me that that's why it gave me that audible reaction. Obviously Nintendo's always really done well with their Mario games and with Mario Kart. Like, those games look great, they play great. There's usually not any like frame rate issues or anything like that. But as Nintendo makes bigger and bigger games, they become more and more demanding. During my reaction, Phenom Sage was like, Bonanza, that could easily run on the Switch 1. It doesn't really look like a Switch 2 game, and I just fully disagree. There's no way you can get that game running at 60 FPS on the Switch 1. No way. There's no way you're breaking through. We're going to talk more about this game here in a sec. Breaking through stuff and having stuff shatter and just pieces of things going everywhere while you're moving your camera around freely in 60 FPS on the Switch 1. Hell no. Absolutely hell no. And Metroid Prime 4, 1080 120 is something I never would have expected. 4K 60 is something I never would have expected. 1080 60, that's kind of where I was like, just hoping we could get the game running in 60 FPS 1080. That was kind of my, don't worry, the Switch 2 will be able to run this game at 60 FPS. Not 4K, but I mean, just seeing that and how gorgeous it looks. And that's a game that's not even built on the Switch 2, right? That's just an upgraded version of a Switch 1 game. And you can see the hardware of the Switch 2 really take advantage of it. I was reading earlier this morning when I woke up that there is some DLSS stuff going on. There is some 4K AI upscaling stuff going on. We kind of knew about it, but we don't have all the details just yet on what that stuff is. Nintendo did mention in like their dev diary or whatever that ray tracing is possible. And they didn't demonstrate that. They didn't talk about that. Is DK's fur ray traced? I don't know. But that's something that I think we'll probably see more of in the coming weeks. People are getting their hands on this console. Just wait until Digital Foundry gets their hands on this thing, and they'll be able to break down all that stuff. Really curious on like how powerful this thing could really be. I think DK was a good example of that, and I honestly think seeing Zelda and Pokemon, a game that just looked so awful. I'm sorry, it just looked awful, man. Pokemon is just a terrible looking video game. It looked like something from literally the PS2 era. I'm not even gonna lie. I was honestly genuine when we saw Pokemon ZA for the first time. Genuinely shocked how ugly the game looked. Just straight up shocked how ugly it looked. And seeing that run at sub 30 frames per second is insane to me. Obviously, Game Freak, we're talking about a studio that's kind of inexperienced at this stuff, although this is like their 4th console game now. Seeing that run in 60 was like a big, holy shit. Pokemon can actually run at 60 FPS now. That's a huge deal. And I think Scarlet and Violet is also getting a big upgrade too. They didn't show that, but I think that is getting a Switch 2 version. I really don't want to pay $80 for that. Sorry, I'm really pulling back on swear words right now. I'm trying to keep this video PG. I almost inserted an F word there because I am pretty baffled by that. We'll get to that though. I kind of just want to cover the games first. Third-party stuff. Street Fighter 6 running on this thing. Crossplay to me is the huge deal. Like, Street Fighter 6's audience and player base just got bigger, and that's a huge deal. For a fighting game, that's a huge deal. I love seeing fighting game audiences get bigger. I hope that people play this game on the Switch too. I really do. I hope that this game finds an audience there. I don't know if I desire to play this thing portably, but it's nice to, give Nintendo players the option. The way they showed it, though, I'm not quite sure. It's kind of just like very cut together weirdly. I don't know. I feel like I didn't get a really good example on like what this game looks like running on the Switch 2. We'll probably see that at like, again, these Switch events or whatever, or maybe even Treehouse. I don't know if they're playing third-party stuff during Treehouse, but I would like to see the game running on Switch. I mean, that's a pretty demanding game. It really is. It's probably going to be a little blurry, right? It's going to be a little blurry. I'm kind of like looking at the Switch as basically as powerful as a Steam Deck. It's basically that powerful, but maybe a little better optimized in certain cases. I think seeing Cyberpunk look not terrible. It was kind of shocking to me. Like, this actually looks kind of good. It looks like the PS4 version of the game. It looks like that. And also Borderlands 4. seeing Borderlands 4, Randy Pitchford showing his face again. Seeing that, looking pretty freaking nice. Again, I'm refraining my swear words here because of how shocked I am on how good and crystal clear everything looked. Yeah. None of the third-party stuff, like, really shocked me, right? You have your Yakuza 0 on there. Director's Cut is, like, a timed exclusive. That's kind of cool. I think that's, like, you got a little incentive to play this game on the Switch, too. Again, a little blurry, a little fuzzy, but I think, again, having the Yakuza series on I wish we saw, like a Dragon 8, Infinite Wealth. I wish we saw that here. And I honestly wish we saw, from Capcom, Monster Hunter World. I'm guessing maybe that comes later down the line, but, that is one of their more demanding games that Capcom has produced. Also, Resident Evil. Like, I was kind of hoping to see Resident Evil 8 here. Not cloud gaming, but just, like, legit Resident Evil 8. Wish we saw that kind of running here. I wonder if those games are a possibility, or maybe those ports require a little more work from Capcom, and they're not really willing to put that work in for just a port, But I do think that, like, Monster Hunter on the Switch, you already have, like, such a big install base for there's already a ton of fans that love Monster Hunter on Nintendo platforms, and I do think it is important to get that game on there. I do, and I think maybe that comes later down the line. Maybe they announce that at, like, Summer Game Fest or something. Maybe that just requires a little more work, and it's not ready to be shown just yet. The third-party stuff kind of breezed by. I remember the original Switch reveal, the Switch 1 big presentation, the stage show. Seeing, like, all these, like, CEOs getting on stage and announcing their support without even showing gameplay, and just kind of, like, filibustering their support. Like, yes, today we're going to announce that EA Sports will be... there wasn't really... We definitely had the EA Sports moment, but it wasn't, like, boring and stupid. It's kind of just like, hey... Yeah, it's coming. It's going to be there. Obviously, we're in a different state now, because before, EA Sports were just absent, on the Wii U. We're actually going to support this Nintendo console and not abandon it like we did the Wii U. We're in a different, we're jumping from success now, and I think now it's like, yeah, we want these games on Switch 2. We need these games on Switch 2. It benefits us to put these games on Switch 2, not the other way around. And, I think they showed that here during this Direct. Again, no big shockers, except the Duskbloods, dude. The Duskbloods. One of probably the most shocking trailer at this entire Direct. Maybe not outside of Bonanza. The Duskbloods. This trailer starts, and I'm trying to figure out what this thing is. I'm thinking Castlevania, but, like, at the start, it's very clearly FromSoft. This is a From Software exclusive game for the Switch 2. And it's multiplayer. It's a PvPvE game. I hope it's not, like, a round-based situation. I don't know. Like, I was thinking, like, why not just get Night Rain running on the Switch 2? Like, I mean, that's clearly possible. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of curious on, like, what sets this game apart from Night Rain. Obviously, it looks... different, right? It's got a very different feel to it. It's all vampire focused, and it looks like very not like builds. I feel like Night Rain is more about, like, builds, like different weapons, classes, kind of, I should say. And this is more like, look at these wacky, kooky characters that you can play as. There's a weird little Mokugen robot thing that you can fly around the map in. There's a cool vampire girl that can, like, float people. You have a gun with the Simon Belmont looking dude. I should say Dracula-looking dude. It's a really good trailer. I love, at the end of the trailer, for some odd reason, we, like, zoom into this weird, like, bat creature, and the camera just, like, zooms in. You just see this precious creature just kind of laying about, like, waking up from a long nap. And I feel, like, empathetic towards that creature. I don't know, like, there was some kind of connection there. I don't know what's going on. It kind of reminded me of, like, the Last Guardian thing. I don't really know, man. Some kind of emotional connection was made at the end of this trailer. And then, obviously, the big emotional connection is FromSoft's connection to Nintendo. This is an exclusive game for the Switch 2. That's the big reveal of this trailer. And, yeah, it got an audible reaction out of me. I think that the fact that it looks so much like Bloodborne, and it's exclusive to the Switch, is it's a little weird, man. It's just a little bit weird to see this kind of game exclusive to a Nintendo console. And a lot of people were like, what's going on with PlayStation? Why don't they want to make a Bloodborne 2? Why don't they want to re-release Bloodborne in any form or fashion? Why don't they put this game on PC? Hell, why don't they put just Bloodborne on Xbox and Switch at least? Like, I don't know, man. I really don't know what's going on. And the fact that this game is exclusive kind of tells me that there might be some turmoil. Again, kind of creating false narratives and stuff like that. Like, that's just not true. Like, Sony owns a stake in From Software, in Kadokawa that owns From Software. They own more of From Software than Nintendo does. You know what I mean? So I kind of don't want to believe that there's something like that going on. I mean, obviously this game has been in development for probably years. So that's before, Sony's stake in Kadokawa increased over the last, I think that was like a few months ago, right? I don't really know, but the game looks cool. I just hope it's not like, I'm into the multiplayer Souls stuff. I've always wanted that, but I kind of just always wanted like just co-op. Just let me like go on an adventure with my buds. I don't want to have to like fight them and all that stuff. I want to just be able to have just a duo adventure with friends. But I don't think that's what this game is. I do think it is like I don't want to say battle royale or anything, but it definitely looks like it's more multiplayer focused. Again, it's more like Night Rain, and I'm curious what it's going to look like. I think we're getting more details. It's going to be like some kind of dev diary coming out in a couple of days. Miyazaki's going to speak about it. This game is directed by Miyazaki, by the way, which is insane. I remember reading in an interview like years and years ago that like I think it was when like the Switch first came out, and he was like, "Yeah, I do want to eventually work with Nintendo on something." I wonder what that could be. I wonder what working with Nintendo could be. Being kind of coy and just saying stuff that professionals would say. And I never thought it would come into fruition, but here we are. The Duskbloods, dude, coming out next year. Color me very, very intrigued. Bonanza. We got to talk about Bonanza. Again, this is fully unscripted. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of stuff, but these are just kind of like the big standouts for me and what got audible reactions out of me. Bonanza is like one of the most, in my opinion, one of the best looking Nintendo games ever made. Just almost immediately, you see these environments, you see the art direction, very clean and clear style. As soon as the first frame opens up, you see a goofy little question mark dude with googly eyes bouncing about. I just knew immediately as soon as I saw that this is not 3D Mario. Like, that is just not a 3D Mario thing. That does not look like 3D Mario. There's something like oddly Rarian about it. Sorry, I was trying to come up with a word to describe Rare-esque about this. I'm kind of glad that they kept a little bit of that Rare flair for this game. And yeah, it is the goofy looking question mark dudes. Like, those are clearly like Rare inspired. Like, come on, dude. That straight up looks like Banjo stuff. And I love that. It's clearly an homage. It's clearly like we're respecting DK64, man. We're respecting DK's past. And I think that's a huge deal. I really do. This game just looks so very good. So very good. Again, Treehouse is going on. They're playing more of this game. I will possibly make a video about talking more, but the game comes out kind of soon, to be honest. What's there to say? Holy mackerel. Being able to be DK, and not just like, hey, this is a new 3D platformer that you just happen to be DK in. No, this is a game where you are DK and you get to crush stuff. You get to destroy stuff. You get to actually be a big, strong ape. And I think that is, that's what makes this game special to me. Is like, you finally get to truly be Donkey Kong, and I don't think we've ever been able to feel that. Maybe like Donkey Kong Blast, or the Bongo game, Bongo Blast. What are those games called? I think like Jungle Beat. I think in like Jungle Beat, maybe that's like a reminiscent of like who DK really should be in a video game. But like this game, crushing things, just literally leveling mountains. Leveling mountains. In the website, if you scroll, you literally see like a mountain standing, and there's like a little time lapse of like DK just destroying the whole thing, and it's fully leveled. So curious on like what the gameplay flow is like. What's the gameplay loop here? There's obviously like tons of stuff to explore. You see DK doing the Breath of the Wild thing, climbing up a cliff, and then you see like a huge, vast world. Maybe not like a Breath of the Wild size world, but a huge level. You see a massive level. There's like stuff going, towers that are going way up in the air. There's this like ingot isles thing happening. You see that like crush and then fall down lower. It's got kind of a Made in Abyss thing going on. I think I mentioned that in my reaction. Love seeing like, I love the idea of like each level is lower and lower. That's just such a cool idea. And again, my big thing for video games is exploration. I want to explore. I want to run around and explore and find secrets and stuff. And it looks like this game could have a lot of that. I saw like just a quick little video of like just the basic gameplay mechanic of digging. Like there's a wall in the way. You see an item over there. You can just freely dig and just get right under that wall and then grab that item. And like that's the kind of ingenuity that this game is going to consistently demonstrate. I just know it. Especially that I'm for certain this is from the Odyssey team. I just have no doubt. You know, they're not showing all their cards just yet. They're showing the idea of like what this game is, but you can already imagine the crazy stuff that's going to be going on in this game. You can already imagine the boss fights. Imagine how hard this game could possibly get. I'm so very excited. Obviously, I made a video talking about like what the future of 3D Mario could be. And I mentioned at the end of that video that it's not going to be a 3D Mario game. It's going to be DK's turn. So there's like a big kind of gratifying moment seeing this game revealed. Like, oh, I was actually right. I followed the clues and the clues led to this. And there's been some, to be fair, there's been some rumblings of a 3D Donkey Kong for a little while. I remember hearing some rumors years ago, legit years ago, about the Odyssey team working on a 3D Mario game. And it never became anything because it was so long ago that I thought, oh, that was fake, you know? But there's always been some rumblings. And in this game, we're rumbling all over the place, dude. The mountains are rumbling. It looks insanely fun. I was just shocked. And then seeing that date, you know, I was fully expecting to see this game pop off in November. Nope. It's coming out in July, just a month, like literally almost to the day, a month after the Switch 2 launch. And that's kind of a joy. That's kind of a big old fat joy right there. I'm way into that. I think that having Mario Kart and then DK just a month after is the stuff that dreams are made of. They really are. That's like an amazing launch lineup there. And again, talk about a first year as well. I mean, we have Metroid Prime 4 coming. I know that's also coming to the Switch 1, but like that's going to be a Switch 2 game. Well, I'm going to get into the prices here in a second, but Metroid Prime 4 is coming probably this fall. We have Kirby Air Riders. I didn't even talk about that. A beautiful trailer. Obviously, I thought it was Smash Bros. I think kind of everyone did. I think when the trailer started, everyone kind of thought it was Smash Bros. Until the rocket pops off the star. I've never played Kirby Air Ride before, so I'm not like jumping out of my seat for that reaction. I've never really been a huge Kirby fan, period. I love the Forgotten Land, but like just never like loved Kirby. But because it's Masahiro Sakurai, because it's like one of the most important creators in my life working on this game, I'm going to be there day one. I'm going to be there day one. But that's apparently coming out this year. I kind of couldn't believe it, to be honest, because it was like a CG trailer. So I don't really know, like, is that legit coming out this fall? Like, that's kind of wild. But again, Mario Kart, DK, Bonanza, Kirby Air Riders, Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon ZA, all coming out this year, is the kind of Nintendo dominance we haven't seen since, like, the launch of the original Switch. That is, Bonanza. That is absolutely insane. I can't believe how strong the Switch 2's software is going to be this year. And I can't believe the price. $80 video games are real now, guys. $80 video games are happening. And I'm just upset, man. There's not really much to say. Obviously, there's like a huge geopolitical thing going on in the world. The country that I'm in is kind of just like fucking everything up. I knew I was going to swear. I knew it was coming. When videos are unscripted, swear words will appear. That's my first one, though, all right? Yeah, it just sucks, man. It just absolutely sucks. But what I was going on is the fact that, like, Metroid Prime 4, the Switch 2 edition, is going to be $80. But the regular Switch version is $60. So I'm paying $20 extra for 60 FPS? That's kind of insane to me. Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition is $80. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, $80. A game that's nearly 3 years old. That is truly baffling to me. When I saw that, my heart just sank. I'm okay with a $450 console. I'm okay with a $500 console. I was willing to pay that for Nintendo's incredible software. I'm willing to pay a lot, but I will admit $80 that's not chump change, man. That's a lot of money. And it kind of scares me because it raises the ceiling. It raises the ceiling of entry level for new gamers, for kids that want to get into gaming. And that's upsetting. That's the part to me that hurts the most. I can afford it. Thankfully, I'm fortunate enough where I can afford an $80 video game. I certainly will be buying less video games, but I can afford them when need be. But for the 12-year-old that's super into video games, that's potentially watching videos just like this, that really wants to get a Switch 2, but doesn't have a job, and has to beg their parents to buy them an $80 video game, that stings, man. That tells me that, like, now less people are going to be playing games. Just generally speaking, less people will be playing video games. And I'm assuming PlayStation and Xbox are going to follow suit. I'm assuming Ghost of Yote is going to be $80. And, like, it breaks my heart. It truly does. I think this was a weird, like, as soon as the Direct is over, like, this is the news that we get. You know, it's like, I'm literally scrambling for information about the Switch 2, and I start seeing $80 video games. And it kind of, like, ruined all of my energy. Kind of just ruined all of my energy. Yeah, that's insane. I will say, you know, this wasn't like the perfect reveal for the Switch 2. I will be honest, it definitely, the whole game chat thing is pretty stupid. pretty dumb, dude. I'll be real, the whole game chat thing, I'm not really seeing the vision there. I mean, I guess it's good for people that just have never heard of Discord, but I don't know. The video stuff is kind of cool, I guess. Being able to, like, hang out with your buds while playing games, I guess, is, like, kind of fun. I imagine, like, you're playing with your girlfriend, you know, that lives across town or something. And like, that's a cool way to, like, I could see instances where it's useful, but, like, for it to be, like, the big feature of the Switch 2 is wild to me. And the fact that you need a Switch Online account, you need Nintendo Switch Online to even use it. At least, you know, for the first year, it's going to be free, right? Or the first 9 months. I think they said March, it'll be paid after March 31st, 2026. So, like, after March, that button is basically useless. Unless you have to literally pay to press that button. And that is weird. That is so bizarre to me. And it's on all of their controllers. It's on the Pro controller. It's on the GameCube controller. That is bizarre. Really don't get it. Another big qualm that I had was the mouse controls. I don't think they showed a single good use of the mouse controls during this presentation. They showed the wheelchair basketball game, what was it called? Drag Ride or something? That looked simply awful. That looked horrible. I didn't mention it in my reaction how bad that looked. It looked awful. I like the idea of it. The conceit is cool. I like the idea of, like, I guess, you know, being a wheelchair robot and throwing a basketball, but my God, does it look ugly. Why does that look like a Wii U game? Like, why does it look so poor? That game better be free to play. Because I don't think I'm not paying for that. I'm sorry. And then they show, like, the weird Switch Welcome Club game or whatever that costs like $6 or what. It should be free with the console, but it's not, because it's, like, literally a manual for the console. They show, like, golf or whatever, and you're, like, moving. Like, I don't get it. I could have done that with just regular gyro controls. And then you see Prime 4 using the mouse, and I'm like,
wouldn't just gyro controls be faster and more comfortable to use? And another thing, like, I have to play at a desk or this feature just doesn't even work at all. And I'll be honest with you, most gamers are not sitting behind a desk. I know I'm a streamer and, you know, I'm a YouTuber. I do this stuff for a living, but like, most people don't. Most people are playing in their living room. And that's kind of weird. And I guess they'll have to invest in a coffee table or some kind of tray for their lap. Just not convinced. I don't think they showed a single thing. I think if Mario Paint was on my bingo card, I think a Mario Paint would have kind of sold me on it, to be honest with you. But it just wasn't there. I was actually shocked that Mario Paint wasn't there. Or an equivalent, a game equivalent to a Mario Paint. Something where you can click things and move stuff around and do stuff. But they really just showed like quick little instances where this feature is justified. And I don't think they justified it. I don't. Yeah, didn't really like that. I didn't really like the pacing of the Direct. It was fast. You know, I think the amount of stuff that they showed was fine. There was something about like the energy of it though. I miss Koizumi. I miss Miyamoto. I kind of wish we saw the familiar faces. Not that I have any problem with the presenters of this Direct. You know, I guess they're like the lead engineers of the Switch 2, which is cool. But I do kind of wish we saw Koizumi and Miyamoto. I wish we saw our mainstays, you know? I think that they bring a certain sense of passion and energy to the Direct that I don't think that these presenters did as much, at least. Yeah, I don't know. That might be just a personal thing. GameCube Virtual Consoles, super awesome. Glad that's finally happening. Seeing Soul Calibur 2, what a great game to have at launch. I will be playing that day one, probably. I think that's fantastic. Generally speaking, a good little console reveal. You know, I think that a good software showcase. I would say a good software showcase. I think the third-party stuff, they showed the important games, right? They showed Elden Ring, they showed Cyberpunk, they showed Street Fighter 6. These are games that were not on Switch 1 that are now going to be on Switch. And that's a huge deal. They showed amazing first-party stuff like Mario Kart, like DK Bonanza, and Kirby Air Riders. Huge deals. This console's more powerful now. Let's show Breath of the Wild running at 60. Let's show Metroid Prime running at 4K 60. Let's show Pokemon running at just a normal, acceptable frame rate for how ugly that video game is. That's important, right? They checked boxes that were important for them to check. But my big takeaway after watching this Direct and just hopping on Blue Sky or Twitter is that, like, can I even afford this? There's definitely like a big conversation there, and it's scary. I don't want to pit it all on Nintendo, because I do think that this is, again, more of a geopolitical issue and not just a Nintendo being greedy issue. Although I do think Nintendo is being greedy. Nintendo has always been like one of the greediest video game companies out there. I truly do think that PlayStation is going to follow. I do think that like Death Stranding 2 and Yote are probably going to be $80 as well. But it was very disheartening after that Direct, and I was so sleep deprived too, and just editing these reactions and just seeing so many people saying like, "Holy shit, this is awful! This is awful! This is awful! I can't afford my hobby anymore," and that breaks my heart. I've always strived to get more people into gaming. I tell my viewers, play more games. I tell my friends to play more games. Play games. I try to tell my brothers, play games. Like, get back into gaming. Don't stop gaming. Like, games. It's a big part of, it's my identity. It's like 50% of who I am is video games. And when 50% of who I am is fucking $80, it's getting harder for me to convince people to play games. It's getting harder for me to get my girlfriend excited for Nintendo when Mario Kart is $80. That hurts, man. That hurts so bad. And I hope that Nintendo does realize that. I do hope Nintendo realizes what's going on. And I hope that these other third-party developers, and again, maybe PlayStation does look at this and say, we can't afford to have our fan base hurt that way. That's the thing. The reason why Nintendo can do it is because it's fucking Mario Kart. I'm swearing all over the place now. It's Mario Kart. People are going to show up for Mario. You could charge $100 for Mario Kart and people will be there day one. But, like, can you say the same about Yote? Can you say the same about Death Stranding 2 or The Last of Us Part 3? I don't know, man. Horizon? Are people going to drop $80 for Horizon? I don't know, man. That's a little more of a tough question for PlayStation. So I do hope that they see this backlash and realize that, like, oh, we can't do this. We're not going to be able to do what Nintendo does. I don't know. It was just really heartbreaking to see that. This has been my general takeaway of the Switch 2 reveal. If you watch this entire thing, I truly, truly appreciate it. It means a lot that you care enough about my thoughts. Make sure to comment down below and let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about the Switch 2. How are you feeling about its price tag and its software price tag? How are you feeling about the games themselves? What do you think about DK Bonanza? What do you think about Mario Kart World? They look amazing. I'm trying to be, like, less pessimistic in my growing years, you know? I'm trying to be a happier person. It's getting more difficult by the coming days, but I do want to say that Bonanza and Mario Kart look fabulous and definitely brighten my soul a little bit. I don't know. Comment below and give me your thoughts on all of it. I'm sorry that I keep doing this. I've shampooed my hair right before recording this, and it's now I'm getting all these, like, strands and stuff. I can say that now because we're at the very end of my video, and this is unscripted. Normally, I would, like, literally cut to, like, fix the hair mid-video, but it's driving me crazy. This is going to be shaved off probably next video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking this video. I greatly appreciate it. And until next time, party on.